Attempting to single out the greatest video games of all time is a task and a half. What are you supposed to judge? There's the way certain titles influenced future games, and whether or not the graphics were gorgeous, and how much we loved them as kids versus now. But ultimately, it comes down to good taste. We took a step back and looked at the general landscape, considering all the games that have inked their way into pixelated infamy, and came up with a list of probably 100 titles. We narrowed that down to 20, narrowed that down even more, and we're left with the 10 video games that we think rightly represent more than 3 decades of incredible gaming. With 2020 looking like it'll be a stacked year for new titles, who knows? Maybe we'll soon have to reconsider the field. Welcome to the Magneticflux. I am your host, Bob, as we count down the top 10 most popular video games of all time. Don't forget to hit subscribe and click the bell to be notified of new content. Number 10 on the list is Dark Souls 3. The crushingly difficult, dark, and gritty world of Dark Souls 3 is so influential it spawned a whole new vocabulary for describing gameplay. While the first Dark Souls is obviously the most groundbreaking, Dark Souls 3 has such flair and polish, making it hands down the best experience in the series thus far. Ever since Dark Souls, From Software has consistently created other titles that could have taken the spot, like Bloodborne and Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. And we could not be more excited for its upcoming George R.R. Martin collab, Elden Ring. But this title in particular has some of the most innovative combat in gaming ever, easily earning its spot. Ninth on the log is Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is an indie title that seems not only to spank the AAA market, but also hit every milestone with grace and dedication. Honestly, it deserves to be on this list if only because it keeps up a steady stream of monumental free content since its release in 2014 until just last December. Shovel Knight takes every aspect from the retro platformers and Metroidvania titles that we love with its own twists to stand apart. The iconic 8-bit visuals, paired with versatile gameplay from campaign to campaign, has made Shovel Knight not only one of our favorite indie games, but one of our favorite games, period. It strikes that perfect balance between nostalgia and creativity that will keep you invested for years. I, for one, am on my 12th playthrough. Eighth on the log is The Last of Us. When people talk about The Last of Us, they talk about its story, which is one of the greatest the medium has ever seen. But can we run back the gameplay for a second? At this point, we're just about fully desensitized to beat and shoot and F-em-up gameplay. But The Last of Us restores the thrill of, Sparta kicking a goon down a flight of stairs. In the game, nearly everything is a weapon. Joel and Ellie have fighting styles that feel authentic to whom they are as people. And there are genuine stakes to every fistfight, which, you can thank that Oscar-worthy narrative for. Number 7 belongs to Minecraft. Minecraft revolutionized the way sandbox games operate, and it still stands as one of the most played games of all time. It's remarkably easy to lose yourself for hours working with your friends, or by yourself, to build anything and everything you can think of. And the massive Minecraft empire has only grown exponentially since its release over a decade ago, with more collaboration, a server system, and new IPs like an adventure game and an upcoming dungeon crawler. Plus, Minecraft is available on phones all the way up to the heaviest duty gaming PC. Sixth position belongs to Grand Theft Auto 5. I've never owned a copy of GTA 5, but my college roommate did. Every couple of days when he was at class, I'd fire up his PS4, boot up GTA, get in a car, and drive. I'd turn on Rebel Radio, which, I kid you not, was my introduction to American folk music. When I first heard legends like The Highwaymen and Tammy Wynette, and spend up to a half hour on a virtual highway top down like I was in a Corvette commercial. I understand you can do other things in GTA, like whack a pedestrian in the face or get kicked out of a strip club, but my afternoon drives did just fine. After over 15 years of GTA, Rockstar finally put the series' best elements together. The boundless open world, the Fast and Furious-esque story, the pitch-perfect satire into the greatest installment the franchise has ever seen. Fifth position belongs to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. This game is largely responsible for the Switch's immense popularity, although Animal Crossing is currently pulling its weight. Breath of the Wild is far and away the most impressive open world we've seen in a video game yet. and it tells such a beautiful story through inventive gameplay but very few cutscenes. The puzzles are unparalleled, and the action is remarkably creative and open-ended. It is a truly new Zelda experience. But more than that, it is a truly new gaming experience. With a sequel on the way, fingers crossed for a 2020 release, we'll have a lot more from our blonde-haired elf. Fourth on the log is Portal 2. This game rules. The single player, the co-op, the plot, and the puzzles. I mean, heck, it's a near-perfect game. Straightforwardly, the Portal series sees players shoot 2 portals to help solve puzzles. The way this mechanic is used and built upon through the game is seriously one of the best developed mechanics we've seen thus far. And it only gets more wild and exciting, read infuriating, in the 2-player co-op. The Portal series could have made the list just based off the portal mechanic alone, but instead, it also gifted us with an enthralling story, a deep cast of characters, and an unforgettable world. Third position goes to Pokémon Red and Blue. The Pokémon TV series was launched in 1996, and soon after their release, it became everyone's favorite. And after that, the Pokémon franchise has taken over the world. With mobile apps, long-standing handheld favorites, an anime series, and so much more, gaming would truly not be the same today without Pokémon. And it all started with Red and Blue. Before Pikachu became a household name, Red and Blue were the humble, role-playing game titles that redefined the handheld medium, sparking something of a pop culture revolution. Second place goes to Street Fighter II. There have been so many classic entries into the fighting game genre, but more than Mortal Kombat or Marvel vs. Capcom or even Tekken, the influence of Street Fighter II has been unceasing for decades. Still used for professional competitions to this day, Street Fighter II wrote the book on fighting games, and it holds up. Street Fighter II World Warrior, also known simply as Street Fighter II, is a competitive fighting game developed by Capcom and originally released for arcade systems in 1991. It is Capcom's 14th title to use the CP system arcade system board. Back in the 90s and the start of the 2000s, it was one of the most popular games in the world. First on the log is Super Mario World. I bet everyone has played this game. From Western continents to Eastern continents, this game has gained huge popularity. From adults to children, everyone has spent some of their time playing this game. When I was in middle school, this was one of my favorite games. So now you can imagine the popularity very clearly. Super Mario has many parts, like Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. Choosing between Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 3 is a close call, but the former just edges out the latter. Super Mario World set an important tone and structure for the future of everyone's favorite plumber. And that vibrant 16-bit art style still looks gorgeous today.